Well, we're advocating for student tuitions, making education, higher education, more accessible to more students, to more people in need of higher education, because we're only trying to improve our future.
5 years ago, tuition at the University of Washington was 10% of median household income. Now it's over 20%.
I could definitely, like I said, I could feel the power, I could feel the unity the students had, I could feel the passion. And I think that's really important because it is different for a legislator to hear about what students want.
Rally day for OSLA, and we're working with the WSA, the Washington Student Association, to have a bunch of people go down there. We have a pretty big crowd. This is our second rally, so we're a little better prepared. We're meeting legislators and rallying with a bunch of the other members of the Washington Student Association, which is primarily like warriors. So it's going to be very exciting.
I'm psyched. I'm gonna meet with legislators, talk about issues. It's gonna be great. I expect a whole lot of awesome speeches, a lot of great student energy, and if we're lucky, maybe some change.
Never been to the Capitol. I am really happy, and I feel really excited. I'm really happy.
I'm here because tuition prices are too high. In the late 90s, my stepmom went to UW. The price, like the full price of going there was the same as my tuition is now.
I think as an older adult, as a returning student, I'm impressed at a lot of the passion that I see in the more youthful students that are here standing in front of the crowd and actually, like, you know, cheering everyone else on and really advocating their purposes. And I mean, I only wish that at that age that I would have been just as active as them. So I'm really glad to be here.
Current expectations of a student today are too unrealistic. And what our legislators must understand is that this is unsustainable. People in Washington...
The rally, I think, went pretty well. We had a lot of excellent speakers. The content was really good.
And now I have to start thinking about where I'm going to go from after Bellevue College. What four-year institution or university I will be able to afford, and how I will pay for that with no Pell Grants, no state assistance, or no government-funded loans. With limited amounts of private scholarships for undocumented youth, it's not surprising to me that only 5 to 10% of undocumented high school students make it to college.
Our legislative aide sat down, was very polite, and listened to us. I didn't really see him taking a lot of notes, but at least at one point after he listened to our stories, he kind of shared, well, I'm a student as well, and I can relate to what you're saying. I'm going to Western. So it felt like he did hear it, but the fact that he didn't take notes, I kind of get the impression he's probably heard a lot of our stories from other students that have gone in to talk to them. So
actually met Representative Senator Litzoff. He's from 31st District, and that's the district that I'm from, Bellevue.
I actually didn't get to meet the actual representative. I met with his LA, which is a legislator assistant. It went really well. he was actually listening to what we had to say, and he interacted with us and got to hear what we had to say about our personal stories, but most importantly what we had to say regarding the bills that we're trying to pass. So it was really nice to see that he was actually showing interest, and we actually handed him a handout with all the bills detailed, like described in much detail, and he said that he's going to pass it along to the representative, so hopefully he does, because he sounded interested, he was interacting with us, so I really hope he made a commitment. He said that they will support education, so hopefully it does come through and we get to see that.
We shared our stories, told exactly what bills we're supporting and why we need his support. We asked him follow-up questions of what he wants to, of what his commitment is, and how he's supporting higher education, and left him a 2-page list with all the information that we have told him and with our contact information.
I kind of tell myself, you know, the answer is always no until you ask, you know. So I figure anytime, any opportunity that arises for me to come down here and be part of a group that's actually trying to advocate these things, it's worth it. And as an adult that's got obsolete work skills and is trying to go back to school and kind of fit back in and be a contributing member of society, and also expanding my pathway, you know, getting more socially active and civically involved, I would keep coming down here every time something like this pops up.
I guess my first thought is that it was a great way to spend the day. You know, coming down here with a lot of people who are passionate about the political process and getting our voices heard.
I think the overall experience, I think it's actually great that BC gives this opportunity to students, and they actually provide a bus for us to come down here. I know some students actually have to drive their own cars and get here by themselves. And it's great that BC actually voices, you know, the importance of rallying and coming here. I don't think I've ever heard that in another school where they actually take into consideration what students want and what they feel is important. So I think it's great that we get to come out here and voice our opinions.